Alright everybody, I just finished welding up this whole shelf. I'm really happy. If you notice, it is very flat. I would never been able to do something like that without the Fireball tools. So thank you Jason over at Fireball Tools. So here's some really close-ups of what they look like, the welds that is. And that one there. That bad boy there. Oh, that one right there. Sorry for the shakiness. And that one there. I think they look all really good. I'm really happy with the way this shelf came out. That's one of 3. This is the bigger one where the tank will go on the back. So yeah, this is going to work. Alright, this is all I'm going to do today. It's Friday. Tomorrow I'll pick it up and finish the other two shelves. Alright, so off camera I went and finished welding up all these shelves. So this is the bottom shelf. It's a little bigger than the other ones. I'll show you. So this is the regular shelf. So this will be the metal shelf, and then this one's the same size, as you can see there. So I need to start working on the bottom shelf, and what I want to do is I want to stick a piece of steel in here, across here, and then one thin one in the center. That will be the supports for the wheels. I'll tack these into the corners and do some of that work, and then get that going. So let me set up. I'm going to figure out what the sizes are of this, and then we'll get going on that. So this is my 7.5-inch Evolution dry cutoff wheel. I have 2 blades for it. I got the original blade that came with it, which is, I call it the orange blade. The orange blade's really good for plastics and wood with metal in it. Not necessarily just all metal. It doesn't have enough carbide teeth. Every other tooth is a carbide and the other one's a chip ejector. So I read online, don't use this one for pure steel. Now inside the blade, if we look, is it's actually a blue blade. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. The blue blade is actually for steel, and that one actually has carbide teeth on every single one. I am missing a few teeth here and there from doing this. I think I counted 3 or 2. Yeah, it's just 2. And that's because when I was doing the 45-degree angle cuts, it would jump off the hole down here, and that was an issue. So yeah, there was only so much I could do about that. I installed the rubber gasket, and I used a piece of wood to help me hold it down, but you know, it worked. They are expensive. They're around $30-something, $32, but you know, they work really good. So I'm going to set up the pieces to cut, and I'll cut them right away. So let me measure those out, and we'll get ready to cut them. Now the metal I'm using is this stock here. This is actually a 3 by, I think, 1/4 is what they are. No, an 1/8. So 3 and 1/8, and this piece here, which is, I don't know, 5 feet or so. I don't know if I can get it totally in the camera there. And I got it as a drop cut, so it wasn't as expensive as it may have really been. So let me get this aligned here and scribed. So when I say scribed is I try to etch the steel a little bit. I use a metal steel scribe. This is a tungsten tip, I believe. And I got these at Home Depot. They're fairly inexpensive. I like this one. There's a magnet in the back so you can check if the material or, you know, put it somewhere. So I'm going to mark this one right now. And it's right about there. Now this scratches the metal, so that way I know where it's at. I'm going to move my new little TIG holder that I have here off to the side. This is on my Instagram account. I made this little TIG torch holder all out of leftover rod stock from 718 weldable steel. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So what I do then is that I'll bring it to the edge here where I need to mark, and then bring a trusty right angle and scribe a nice right angle line here. Now, the thing with this saw is they rather you cut the long way than the flat way. In other words, they want me to cut this way, not this way. So I have to stand it up. And to be honest with you, I don't think it actually fits. But what I'm going to do is try. So let's see if I can try. Yeah, I think it will work. And what I'm going to do is line up the blade to be on the inside, and right now it's on the outside. So I need to come over just a tad. There we go. Alright. And then hearing protection. These are polycarbonate lenses. I'm not too worried about them. So unfortunately, this is the biggest piece I can cut, and it still doesn't reach all the way down to the bottom. So I have about maybe 1/8 of an inch left at the bottom. So hacksaw it is. Just so you guys can see how much is left there, you can kind of see through my shirt. Yeah, not a big deal. I'll hacksaw it right off. See, not a big deal. And I'll dress this up later. So I just prepped all the pieces here, all 5. You'll see that some I've ground down a little bit more than the others. You can see here that this is ground down. There's paint on there. I'm going to dip these in hydrochloric acid, and because I'm going to do that, all the enamel paint needs to be off of it, and they spray paint the ends of these blue for the stock type. This one here, this one here had a lot more paint. That's why you see it. I ended up grounding more of it off. But it still leaves some of the mill scale, and I found out when TIG welding, it's always best to have it ultra clean than it is to, you know, not. So I have a bucket outside that I keep outside. I'm gonna go dip these in there and let them sit for half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending. I'll take them out after that. So I'll get back to you guys as soon as this finishes dipping, because then I have to, again, wire brush them to remove the flash rust that comes onto them, and then get them ready for TIG welding. All right. See you in a little bit. Alright, so I left them in the acid for about 30 minutes, but some of these weren't in all the way, so I had to flip them over, and I left them for another 15 minutes. They did, some of these flash rusted. I don't know if from there you can see it, but some of these have yellow on them, and that's just a little bit of flash rust. Like this piece here looks nice, there's not too much flash rust, but like I said, if you don't take off all the paint, it doesn't etch. So right here there's some paint, there's some blue paint there, and some blue paint here. I really didn't see it because of all the mill scale. It was just as dark. So I'm pretty happy with this. So what I'm planning to do now is I'm going to hit it with my my paint scraper, you know, my Rotozip. These are just going to take off a very thin layer, and that's going to allow me to then expose some fresh steel and be able to weld these up. One of these, that one, I forgot to grind off the backside, so I'm going to do that really quick with the grinder. Alright, so as you saw, I cleaned these up. They're nice and bright now. They've been all decontaminized. So what I'm going to do is actually get it ready to mount into the bottom shelf. What you're seeing me look for is a rag, because I want to make sure all the crap is off this little welding table. I'm assuming it's flat, because I actually tried it and put some stuff on top of it earlier. And the parts I welded I know are flat, so this sits flat. And the idea is these are going to be where the wheels sit. Alright, that one's a little tight there, so we'll see if I can get it on this side. Basically it fit fine on that side. Let's see if this one fits okay on this side. It does. So that's what it's going to look like. And the idea is I got some wheels here. So the wheels will go on the other side, not on this side. So I got some casters that will go there, and I got some regular wheels there. Gosh dang it. Of course, it's not big enough. I have to figure this out. What I may do is actually cut some more of that 3-inch. So what I'm talking about is this. What I'm thinking I'm going to do. See, luckily with the casters, right, I would want to mount it with this way, but I can mount them this way too, right? I prefer to mount them that way, like in there like this, but then this is too small, right? So I need to have a little bit more support here. So what I'm thinking I may actually do is I'll just cut a small piece out more, and I'll hand, take those off. And then when I put these in like this, they'll actually have enough space. So I'll just make a little, basically a cutout piece that will let it be, there. But I really wanted to put these across here all the way, to help support the weight. But maybe I know a better idea. Why do I have to have it all the way over there? I can move these 3-inch pieces out here. Yeah, there'll be a gap here, and that'd be fine. And that will help disperse the weight out. Remember, the wheels are on the opposite side. And then I'll have a center support here. I think that may actually work. I still need a little piece over here. Or the option, I think I'm gonna go this way now, is I'll put this piece here like I was planning to do right now, cut it right here, and then mount, and then get this piece and put it across here like this, and put this one over here at the same, and then put this one in the center like I wanted it, and I'll be done with it. That way it has the support it needs for the wheels, and it has the lateral support. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best. So one thing is that I did weld the... By the way, I'm doing all this in my head, so that's why I didn't think about that. But I welded on this side, so I need to weld this flat. Or when I use the fireball tool, I'll mount it from the bottom, so that way the pieces are flush against this back surface. But I'm still going to hit this with the grinder. I'm going to do a lot of this now off camera, but I'll get back to you when I have them tacked in place. Alright? Be right back.